So I was at a speaking engagement in Florida not too long ago, and the person sitting next to me was the MC, and she asked me, "Why do you have faith in God?" And I thought about it for a second, and what I said to her is, when something happens in your life one time, that's kind of interesting. When it happens a couple of times, coincidental. But when it happens repeatedly, over and over again, for not only months and years, but decades, you realize that something is special. And to me, that has just been the hand of God in my life. It's not that I'm special. I think it happens to everybody's life. But I think so many people just tend to ignore it and say, oh, that was interesting. Or they forget the good thing that happened or the tough circumstance they overcame. So to give you an example of this, when I first began acting, I went on an audition for a show called Bay City Blues. Bay City Blues was from the creator of Hill Street Blues, Stephen Bochco. And if you remember, Hill Street Blues was a huge hit. If you were on that show, you were rich for life because the residuals would pay forever, right? So you knew if you got on Bochco's next show, you were going to be set. You're going to have a great paycheck to begin with and residuals forever. And so everybody wanted to get on that show, including me. So I started auditioning for it, and it was a process that went several months. And the Bay City Blues was about a baseball team. So not only did you have to audition as an actor, but you also had to go through baseball tryouts. And I kept going through all these things and kept passing, going to the next level, and was doing great, all right? Over here, there was another movie called New Kid in Town, which no one heard of back then and no one has heard of even now. But somehow somebody submitted me for that. And I don't know to this day who did it, but I kept getting called back for it, right? And the only thing was, this show, Bay City Blues, was guaranteed on the air, 8 episodes, gonna be a hit. New Kid in Town, they were gonna pay us, I think, $100 a day. They didn't even have casting offices. You would just kind of randomly show up at a room somewhere and do the audition, and it was just kind of had Loserville written all over it. So as I was praying about it, I would say, I figured God didn't have too much interest in the movie business. So I was trying to tell God, okay, Bay City Blues, really good, God. New Kid in Town, kind of crummy. So I really would love this one, God. But I kept getting called back for that and kept getting called back for Bay City Blues. It ended with Bay City Blues, finally, I had kind of become their top choice, and they offered me a contract. It was 6 figures. I was a young man. I was like, oh man, we're in the money now. And so I went in for the final meeting, which was with Stephen Bochco. He was the creator of it. And that's all I did, one last audition. That was kind of it. So I went in, met him, read, and about an hour later, I went and saw my agent. And when I walked in, I saw Geraldine, and I knew just from the look on her face, something had gone wrong. And she said they took the offer back. I said, you're kidding, it went like every other audition, I don't understand. She said, they're saying that you're not stocky enough or chubby enough, that a catcher should be more, because I was supposed to be a catcher on the show, should be more, chubby or something like that. And she said, I've been sitting with them all morning saying to them, here's the height and weight of professional catchers in Major League Baseball. Bob easily could fall into that. So I sat there with Geraldine and I said, what do you think happened? She said, Stephen Bochco is the man. He was in New York and he kept hearing about Bob Krantz, came to California, and I think this is her speaking, not me. I think he wanted to reestablish, I'm the man, I say who comes in and out of this show. And today you were kind of the guinea pig, and he cut you to reestablish that he's the man. Whew, man, I just couldn't believe that. So I went back to my apartment, and wouldn't you know it, there was a message on my answer machine from the people from New Kid in Town. They said, one last audition. We want you to go meet this other actor, and we want to see if you two have chemistry together. But we don't have any offices. So would you go meet him at a hot dog stand in Hollywood? Which is what I did. So I went down to this hot dog stand, met the other actor, We had a hot dog and ended up reading, and once you know it, they thought we had chemistry, and they ended up giving me and this other guy the lead roles for the movie. The moral of the story is this: that can't miss, unbelievable, gonna be a hit on the air, guaranteed show, Bay City Blues, it got canceled after 4 episodes. It was a bomb. That other movie, New Kid in Town, it never became a hit, right? So you're thinking, well, what became of that? It wasn't the movie that became a hit. What happened was that actor that I met that day at the hot dog stand, his name was Gary Hirschberger. He became my best friend for life. He's been in every movie that I've ever made. I've tried to get him in if he wasn't busy. And to those of you who have seen Faith, Hope, and Love, the guy that keeps pounding on my office, the door, that's Gary. He was my best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his wedding. We have spent more time laughing in our lives, more time dreaming and trying to be the best actors, trying to be the best husbands for our wives, trying to be the best fathers for our kids, just the best of friends. And I look back now and I think, here I was praying, I'm like, God, please give me Bay City Blues. And I'm sure God was sitting up there going, really? You sure about that? You know? The moral to that story is, God is in control. When you let Him take charge of your life, even if it's the movie business, what a joy and what a gift He gave me. I would never have wanted that show had I known I had this great friend that was going to be in my life to this day. And beyond all that is just one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. God's pretty good.